Success is a game of choice where you control the odds by your enthusiasm, persistence, and drive. That is so true, my friends. Merry Christmas. Markets will be closed this Monday. Coming to you here on Friday, we will be looking at these charts as we move on into next week and then, of course, into the new year. Now, as we see the markets today, of course, you don't expect a lot of volume, although look at the volume toward the end of the day, up near average. But as we look at what really happened, not a whole lot. Stocks are up, bonds down, gold and Bitcoin up. All of it not raging numbers or anything, but my friends, we ended the week with a higher high of 475.90 as opposed to last week of 473.73. Look at all the volume. We achieved the volume of last week this week. And of course, as we look at the last 4 days, two-day candles, we can see where the volume was right there at average. Now, as we look at where things have gone, of course, when things moved around on both the weekly and, of course, the 2-day, things started moving up, spinning tops. Average volume here, higher than average volume there after peak down volume. Things have just moved up for that. But for that 1 week of a sideways slide, and then they took off again, it's just gorgeous. We'll see how things go into this last week, and then as we get into the new year, up 0.20% for the day. We look at the NASDAQ 100. It, too, has had a higher high. Look at that. A little bit higher volume than last week, up 0.15% for the day. And again, a little lower than average volume, not as high throughout the course of the day as the S&P, but again, well above on both these charts on the 2-day and the half-day in relationship to the weekly trend line, which is what we draw each and every week, because remember, we're trading off the weekly trend. Why? Because we want to make big money in our practice trades, not little money off anomalies. We're looking to trade the trend, and of course our biggest chart is the weekly. That is our trend, the weekly trend. Now let's look at where bonds are. Pulling back really for a day and a half here. Volume really got slow in the afternoon as things went down 0.46%, our only downer for the day, but a higher high this week. And again, nicely distanced between the weekly trend line and the 2-day and the half-day. We saw bonds pull back a couple of times already and then continue to move back up again, so we'll keep an eye on that as we start the new week on Tuesday. Now, let's take a look at gold. Gold up 0.44%. And look at what gold has touched again. As we see it touching both on the 2-day, and on the half-day also, but popping up where things had popped up on gold before. We'll go all the way back to April and May of this last year. And, of course, the end of November. Then things sort of broke off on that. What's gold going to do? Is gold going to press on through, or is it going to bounce back off and head down? This will be interesting, won't it? We will be watching for that. Like we said, gold up for the day, 0.44%. And lastly, my friends, what about Bitcoin up 0.12%? We saw Bitcoin on that 2-day chart really hammer up the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 6th. Am I getting those down? 1st, and then the 4th, and then the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th. And then it sort of dropped over. And the last two-day candles, it's been trying to garner a little bit of energy, but not reaching the high we saw back on the week beginning the 4th of December. That's 2 weeks ago now. So we'll keep our eye on Bitcoin. We saw this slow down before, but it just continued to edge up over those weeks and then took off again. Don't know what Bitcoin is going to do as we get into the new year. Of course, this last year, Bitcoin had just sunk and then slid sideways and then starting. Well, that first week we got a spinning top. Second week, Bitcoin took off for the following 3 weeks. Then sort of sideways, popping up, down, and then, of course, we had those bump ups. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th ending the year. So we'll see where Bitcoin is going to take us this last trading week of the year, and then how it starts off the new year. That is where we are, my friends. I'm traveling right now. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get this stuff uploaded and out to you sooner rather than later, but at least I've gotten it recorded. I can tell myself that. God bless, my friends. Again, Merry Christmas. God bless you all. Thank you so much for your support of us here at chartingwealth.com.